Subscribe to Awaaz today. Click on the bell icon for latest national and international buzzing news.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all today. This is the second event of the series planned by Vision 2020 as part of the mission to help those in need and less fortunate. My name is Natasha Badia, and I'm going to be your host for today's proceedings. We have an exciting program ahead of us today where three renowned chefs will be showcasing three different vegan dishes. You'll find out a little later tonight what exciting treats they have in store for you. Before we begin, on behalf of Vision 2020, I'd like to say a big thank you to Quality Training and Hospitality College for allowing us to utilize their facilities to prepare today's dishes, as well as Cubear Vault and Accolade Consulting for sponsoring today's event. Just by all of you being here today and supporting this event, you are playing a role in creating a meaningful change in the lives of others, especially in the global situation with COVID spreading throughout the world today. Supporting not-for-profit organizations such as Vision 2020 today is even more integral. Over the past 20 years, Vision 2020 has raised over $250,000 for various projects such as the Home for Destitute Women, the Tender Heart Educational Society, and Muscular Dystrophy Australia Association. These are just to name a few. Together with all of you today, Vision 2020 is committed to creating a positive change for children, the elderly, the education sector, healthcare sector, and disaster relief, with 100% of funds raised going towards these causes. So thank you all again for being here today. Before I go any further, I'll make a few housekeeping announcements. Firstly, all viewers will be muted by the moderator except for speakers and chefs during the cooking segments. This will prevent any unnecessary disruptions throughout the event. We request that you avoid using two devices next to one another whilst logged into Zoom, as this can create unnecessary disturbance. And finally, please feel free to use the chat lines for any queries or feedback throughout the event. The chat line can also be used for you to pledge your donation. And we'll be displaying bank details on the banner and chat line throughout the show. So your queries will be responded towards the end of the event. The money raised today will be going towards essential support equipment such as syringe pumps and ECG equipment for terminally ill patients at the Swami Sradhanand Hospital. So I urge you to dig deep and donate for this worthy cause. Again, the bank details are on your screen now and in the chat lines for your information. We are now going to begin the short introductory video about the Swami Sradhanand Hospital.
Based on the theme of this prayer, Swami Shraddhananda built a hospital in the 1970s. The project is based in Nirmal village on the outskirts of Mumbai city and is covered by beautiful lakes from three sides, increasing the panoramic view of the hospital. In 2015, Swami Shraddhananda Hospital was handed over to the Bhaktivedanta group for conducting the operational activities. The 14-bedded setup offers healthcare services like X-ray, ECG, full-fledged pathology lab, and a fully equipped dental clinic to give quality treatment to all patients irrespective of their social or economic condition. Swami Shraddhananda Hospital also offers a unique facility of 11-bed palliative care ward where terminally ill patients are cared for with genuine love and compassion. The specially trained staff ensures patients are given an environment just like their home. Ophthalmology is one of the fastest growing departments, having a dedicated building where more than 1,000 patients are checked and 250 cataract surgeries are performed every month. 60% of our patients are treated and operated free of cost, and the rest are given concessional rates. Our eye care setup boasts of a modern and fully equipped operational theater. All protocols are followed to deliver quality care. As outreach activities, we conduct various free checkup camps for eye, orthopedics, and dental care.
My congratulations to the team of Shraddhananda Hospital, all the trustees of Bombay Medical Aid Foundation, of Shraddhananda Hospital, Shraddhananda Hospital, for the possible new venture which is coming up. So my best wishes for the whole team, and I request all those who are well-wishers of Shraddhananda Hospital of this area and they want to do something good work, they can contribute financially, by their suggestions, intellectually, and if not, at least by their good wishes.
So thank you to the Swami Shraddhanand Hospital for that enlightening video. It's inspiring to see patients receiving such selfless service. Later on during today's proceedings, Dr. Suraj will be joining us to present a short PowerPoint from the hospital. Again, everyone, I'm encouraging you to please donate for this worthy cause. Details on how to donate are being displayed in the chat lines and also are on the banner. So, vegetarianism and veganism has existed in India since ancient times, and the food has had thousands of years to develop and create great flavors and wholesome dishes. In recent years, a growing number of people globally are now turning towards a vegetarian and vegan lifestyle. In India, there are now approximately 375 million vegetarians, and in Australia, 2.5 million people are vegetarians, accounting for 12.1% of the population. Vegan and vegetarian food brings a whole host of health benefits, including lower risk of developing cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, and helps to contribute to an ecologically sustainable lifestyle. The spread of vegetarian and vegan cuisine globally is now expansive. So today we have 3 exceptional chefs joining us to showcase some of their favorite vegan recipes. Please put your hands together today for Chef Kim, Daisy Rajan, and Harshendu. And we'll be answering any of your questions a little bit later on in today's show on the chat line. So please feel free to ask your questions there. Our first guest is Daisy Rajan. Daisy is a chef, author, presenter, and training consultant. She has had a strong background in hospitality, spanning over 35 years, having worked at the Sheraton, Radisson's, Novotel, and Duxton Hotels in Sydney. Daisy has also been featured in cooking shows on Channel 9, SBS, and Fox Lifestyle channels internationally. Her recipes are published in the Women's Weekly Australia, Food Safari Cookbook, and currently she manages the Chef's Academy at Darling Harbour. So a warm welcome to Daisy, everyone. And Daisy, can you tell us a little bit about your association with Vision 2020 and what you're going to be cooking here today?
Hi, Natasha, and hello, everyone. Before we start, wishing everyone a happy Dashera. So yes, my association with Vision 2020 goes over more than 11 years. I have been supporting various projects, and it is a very credible organization. That is why I have been so involved with in any capacity that I can be of help and support to Vision 2020. And it's a charity very close to my heart. Um, for a lot of events, I have supported in because I'm a chef, so have obviously been behind the scenes and ensuring that I would have some role with the food preparation because that is what I do, and I love feeding people and I love cooking for everyone. So yeah, more than eating myself, I would rather cook for everyone. So that's my passion, and I've been doing it for the last 35 years. And this brings us to our today's very exceptional event. Vegan and vegetarianism is food very close to my heart because growing up in a vegetarian family in Mumbai, obviously from a Gujarati household, we have been strongly, of course, vegetarian. But being a chef, I had to dabble with a lot of different cuisines and a lot of different food items. So, of course, being a chef, cannot say that I cannot cook various things. But something that I want to come back to. And if you do follow my Instagram page, it's always majority of it is vegan or vegetarian food. And I believe the very important point about uh, following veganism is fine, but don't do it because it's a trend, because it's very hard for people to find the balance of diet. And a lot of times, if people are not having enough nutritional knowledge, then they may end up malnourished. So they will not be able to get protein because it's very hard for people to know what type of vegan protein is available. So today's dishes, the first one that I'm going to start off with is a tray baked ratatouille, which has French origins. A lot of colorful vegetables. That's the idea of eating nutritious food. You don't have to have a degree in nutrition as long as you eat variety of foods from different food groups and also vegetables from different colors. As you can see, this is like a rainbow. So what I'm going to start off with is just seasoning all the vegetables with salt and pepper. So I have some eggplant, which is cut up into cubes. I have some zucchini, some Spanish onion here, some tomatoes and yellow capsicum, interspread with some thyme and rosemary. And also I've got whole garlic cloves. So, if you can't obviously eat garlic raw, though I know some people who do, but it's got a very strong flavor. But you'll be surprised when you roast the garlic, it caramelizes and brings up the sweetness of the garlic. So it would be amazing to eat this garlic once the vegetables are ready. The other important point here would be the addition of a good amount of olive oil, especially with the eggplant, because eggplant need a very good soaking of olive oil. Otherwise, you're not going to get that flavor. And the oven is already set to 220, which is a hot oven. So what I'm looking at is to get good charring, at the same time having the vegetables cooked but not mashed. I still want some vegetables to have an al dente or to the teeth. But obviously you have some vegetables that you can't eat raw. Obviously potatoes being one, which fortunately we don't have them here. So the next step would be just to mix up everything so that all the oil, the herbs, the seasoning is well mixed with all the vegetables. And I'm using olive oil, so it's pretty healthy for us. If you're all following and being aware of the Mediterranean diet, you know the importance of eating and including olive oil in our diets. So that's about it. Pretty simple, very simple dish. All this is going into hot oven, as I mentioned. It's it's on 220 degrees. Just try and make sure it's all flattened out so it cooks evenly. Have the oven here. That one's going in. The first leg should be taking at least about 20 minutes. There it's on, so it should be about 20 minutes. We'll revisit that in a few minutes. In the meantime, I will just quickly show you how to make polenta, which is what we are going to serve the ratatouille with. Polenta is made from corn, so cornmeal. So again, it's gluten-free. What I have here is some butter. Just warming it up. I have some hot water here. About a cup of polenta or cornmeal, which is going into the melted butter. The butter is about 1 tablespoon. So I am going to add that. Just toss it a bit. Just toasting it so that the butter is going to coat all of the polenta. Now the other step would be to add in the water, but make sure that you are adding it at a stretch. If you want, if you feel that you're not going to be very confident about it, because what will happen is once the water starts hitting the polenta, it will start to be absorbed very quickly. And if it's not done in quick enough time, it's going to get lumpy. So that is the thing to avoid. So at this stage, you can see I've got the polenta all covered up with a little bit of butter that I had added, and I'm going to add all of the water. So it's 1 cup of polenta, that's 4.5 cups of water. At this stage, you can also, to substitute water, you could also use stock. Vegetable stock would be good. I'll just switch on to a wooden spoon. As you can see, it starts to absorb the liquid very, very quickly. And for this recipe, I am looking for a soft polenta. There are lots of different ways in cooking polenta. We could also completely set it on a tray and then put some butter, cheese, and put it in the oven or under the salamander or a grill to make sure that it gets a nice golden color. Or you can cut it into fingers after it's set and deep fry it. So just like chips, you would have polenta chips. Today we are going to keep it loose because we are serving with the tray roasted ratatouille, which is going to be fairly dry as against the traditional recipe, which is quite a bit wet than this one. All right, so this is going to be cooking. Towards the end, what I will do is add, I've got some cheese, some grated cheese. Today I have Parmesan cheese. Instead of butter, the healthier option would be to add some olive oil, and that would make it vegan. Okay, so this dish is the only dish today which is not vegan. And the important point here would be again to see that we have bubbles coming, but stay clear of it. Very, very hot. You want to have bubbles because that means that it's going to be completely cooked and you're not going to have that raw taste in your mouth. But again, the butter helps, or olive oil if you don't want to add the butter. With the cheese, again, it's optional. You want to add it, you can add it. If you want to omit it, that's fine, because if you want to keep it strictly vegan, obviously we are not going to add any cheese. This is how quick it's done. And I'm going to keep it aside till the ratatouille is ready. And we'll revisit this when we are serving it. So that's my dish. Looks pretty good. And as you can see, no lumps Very, very smooth. Okay, I will take this off the gas and then we get on with the next recipe. So Natasha, I hand it back to you.
Thanks, Daisy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already hungry having a look at what you're making. A reminder to everyone to please, again, dig deep and donate for this worthy cause today. The bank details are being shown in the chat lines and in the banner for your information. As Daisy has mentioned, our second chef, Harshendu, will be joining us now with another tantalizing vegan dessert. He is an experienced qualified chef who has 30 years experience working in high-end hotels in India, the Middle East, and has owned and operated his own patisserie in Sydney too. He's won several awards for his products and has been also recognized by the media. He's currently the chef in charge of Scalbrini's aged care establishment for over 5 years now. Hashendu, we're all dying to know what you're going to be cooking today for us.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining in on this exciting masterclass, obviously through Vision 2020. And we're all very excited to bring you an episode with the vegan products or vegan dishes. So what I have in store for you guys today is some chili garlic tofu, and it is going to be served on a bit of broccolini, which has been tossed and garnished with some black sesame seeds. So that's my tray setup, which we call mise en place. It's always good to have that handy and ready at hand, so you don't really waste time and you're into cooking. So I've got a pot of water out there at the back for the broccolini to be kind of blanched, and then we'll take it from there. So first thing what I'm going to do is we're going to start on the pan, and then we're going to put a little bit of peanut oil. Peanut oil gives us a better flavor for when we do the tofu. So we're just going to get that heated up. You could use a non-stick pan, or I've got another one here. Thank you, Chef Daisy. All right, looks like we got some technical issues with the gas range, but that's fine. We can start off with this one here. I've got it on high heat.
Yeah, it's on.
And just because I've got quite a few cubes of tofu, I tend to make it in 2 batches. So that way we can rush the process through and we can quickly do the tofu, because next I will go on to the dressing or the sauce. And then eventually we're going to do the broccolini, and it will be time to grate up as well. So we're almost there. The oil is getting heated up. Just a little bit under the smoke point. I'm going to put a bit of oil in here.
Would you add anything else to the tofu to make it extra crispy?
Okay, so what we need to do is a couple of cloves of garlic in both the pans. And what we also need is a bit of salt and pepper. What the garlic does into the hot oil is it starts to infuse and flavor the oil with all the lovely flavors of the garlic. Just give that a bit of a toss. So once you see the garlic, it's been there for about 2 to 3 minutes and it's starting to get a little bit of color on it, we're going to put the tofu in there, and we're going to cook the tofu along with the garlic. Eventually, when the tofu is done with a nice golden brown color, we are going to then discard the garlic, and then we can use that too. All right. So
would you add anything else to the tofu to make it extra crispy?
Look, if you want to do crispy tofu, what you can also do is have a batch of corn flour mixed with a bit of rice flour, and you dredge the pieces of tofu. Something similar what you would do for salt and pepper tofu. All right. So what happens is I'm just going to increase the heat here and start putting in the tofu. I can literally smell all the beautiful garlic flavors coming through, and it is just amazing. So unfortunately, we can't get you the sense of smell out through Zoom, but this is absolutely smelling fantastic. So 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and what we are trying to achieve here is we're trying to achieve a nice golden brown color. So you can rest that on the garlic clove, so the garlic kind of infuses within your tofu. Keep in mind the temperature, we always got to be careful. We don't want to have it too hot or you're going to burn the tofu. Yeah, okay, the broccoli goes in there.
Is going into the steaming pot of water. At home, you can even wrap it in the microwave, sprinkle some water, and you could put the broccoli in the microwave, and that's going to be very quick.
Yeah.
All the recipes we are showing today are quick recipes. These will be very suitable for people coming afterwards and don't have too much time, hungry, and then just want dinner on the plate very, very quickly.
Yeah, so now whilst we're getting a nice golden brown color on them, I'm going to start with the dressing. So what we have here is chili and garlic sauce or paste. So we're going to use that through. You can use this as per your discretion. If you want it a little bit spicier, you could add in a little bit more of that. To that, we've got some honey. Get some honey through there. What the honey also does is it starts to make the dressing cling onto your tofu. So that's another thing we use. And then a bit of soy sauce. So we've got some soy sauce in there. Just be mindful of the soy sauce because obviously it's got the salt in there. So we got to just be careful in the amount of soy sauce we add. Yeah, so you got your dressing ready. It's nice, thick, so it's going to easily coat up your tofu. Let's have a look at the tofu. So it's coming up well. I'm going to increase the fire. Now, if you did see the pattern in which I put the tofu in the pan, I've gone through like a clockwise motion, so I know that the tofu, the one up front is ready, and then I just go around in a circular motion to get the desired result. Because if you just tend to just chuck in the tofu, what happens is you might not know which tofu has been in there for much longer, and then you can, you're going to burn that.
That's a great tip, Chef.
Yeah, so that's the best way, I find it to get ideal result and the correct browning and the perfect browning on your tofu as well. So that's looking good. We're just going to keep it on the other side. Broccoli is getting done through. So just in a couple of minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to plate up the dish, and then we'll have it ready for presentation. So I hope you guys are enjoying a few of the tips, what we got through here. And I'm certainly enjoying doing what I do as my day job anyway. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, we're lucky to love what we do. And at the end of what we do, we can also eat it. So what could be better than that?
Absolutely, Chef.
That's looking.
So we are not far away.
Looking pretty good.
What I might do is I might just reduce the heat on this pan. And that one's ready to go. The broccoli is ready.
Sure, we'll check in a little later with you. Or
Yeah, so I'm just
are you still
finishing up
going?
the presentation. Yeah. So as I said earlier, just get off the excess garlic off because it's done its job. It's imparted the flavor. And we can reuse this garlic, and you can infuse some oil through that as well. So
That's great. Yes, yes. Infused oils are
yeah, so infused oils again.
Very, very chefy, but so easy to do. People at home don't realize how all these things are so easy. Only if you have some background knowledge, it's just you can replicate most of the items at home.
So we still have got the oil from the garlic, and we're just going to quickly flat fry this. Remembering that the broccoli is already been steamed, so we want that crunch to be kept in there as well. So we're just going to do that. maybe a pinch of salt, a bit of pepper. Yeah, so we're going to do is, okay. Thank you, Chef Daisy. You beat me to it.
Teamwork is crucial in the kitchen. Now,
All right, so we're pretty much ready to go and fry it up. So you have your broccolini. And then you get your tofu. Nope. It's a bit slippery, the tofu, so you got to be a little bit careful. All right, so that one gets off the heat. Everything is off here, and then finally, we're going to have the dressing. Just give it a nice quick stir, so it kind of incorporates all those.
what do you have in the dressing, Chef?
So we've got honey, we've got a little bit of the chili garlic sauce, and we've got a bit of soy sauce. Drizzle a bit on the broccolini. And then finally, we got some toasted black sesame seeds. Few on the tofu as well. Another way to garnish, and which is entirely optional, is using seaweed. So people who like the seaweed, they can definitely use it. What I've done is I've very finely slice them, and then you can have those sitting onto your plate as well. All right, so there you have it, your chili garlic tofu, served with some broccolini, with some sesame seeds. I hope you guys try this at home, enjoy, and give us feedback. Bye for now.
Thanks, Daisy and Hershendu. My mouth has been watering throughout the show so far. I just can't wait to see what our last chef has in store for us.
It's ready.
Everyone, please, again, I'm urging you to please donate for this worthy cause. The bank details are being shown in the chat lines and on the banner, as well as you're able to donate via your credit card on the Vision 2020 website. So please go ahead and donate there. Asmita will be taking questions on the chat line shortly. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write them there for any of our chefs or the speakers.
Natasha, if possible,
Yes.
I could just plate up and finish off my dish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I know I'm jumping a little bit over the planned items, and the agenda. So it's ready. Fortunately, we have a commercial oven, which is a combi oven, and it roasts vegetables in like 1/3 the time that you would take at home. Just taste the polenta for seasoning. I've added some salt and pepper. Just go easy if you're using some cheese, because of course cheese is salty. All right, a little bit more. And I like cheese, so. And again, cooking is, following recipes is good, but once you get your techniques right, just make the recipes your own. You do not have to, religiously follow it. Once you know the basics, you can twist it to your liking and of your family's liking. So that's the very big advantage of learning how to cook, because we can cook, we know how to cook pretty quickly, we know how to prepare healthy recipes, and it doesn't have to take long. As you saw, we've prepared 2 recipes, 3 actually if you count polenta. It's been pretty quick, and this is a meal by itself. And I'm going to just leave it here, Chef. Thank you. Thank you, Chef Jeff. That is looking amazing.
Smells beautiful.
Smells lovely. There. What we are looking at, all these vegetables you can eat semi-cooked or even raw, but eggplant is not something that will be nicely edible if it is raw. So what we have done is look for the, even when you're preparing it at home, you want to look for this caramelization, the darkness, which is what makes us, which is what makes our food very appetizing. And because all of us eat with our eyes first, so that's great. What you could do is, if you want, you can mix all the flavors and also the colors. If you don't want the herbs, put them aside. And I'm just trying to make sure that you have a good mix of colors. And this is brilliant. The garlic, if you eat it roasted, it will be so sweet. Okay, and you're not going to get garlic breath. Obviously, not something you would advise on your first date for the young ones. Raw garlic. So we have all the different colors here. This is a slightly different take on the traditional ratatouille, which is very, very saucy. This is a dry variety. And I might put some of the roast garlic. I mean, who wouldn't like to eat a plate of this or a bowl of this? Just to finish it off. Just tidying it up. And I have some garnish that has been sitting in the fridge, ice cold, so it keeps it very vibrant. Got some parsley, some oregano, and some basil. You could use whatever herbs you like or what you fancy the taste. I don't see any problem. Why would you not use coriander? This is Australia. It's multicultural. So twist the recipes to your liking.
Someone's asking how much stock was added to the polenta.
To the polenta, okay. So I had 1 cup of polenta and I've added 4.5 cups of water or stock.
Okay, great.
There you have it, yes. Little drizzle of olive oil. Just to finish it off. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely like some sprinkling of chili flakes. And my polenta and tray bake ratatouille is ready. And we are going to enjoy it. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, Daisy, that looks delicious.
Thank you.
I don't know, I'm salivating over here, so I'm sure everyone else just agrees with me. That looks very colorful and very vibrant. Before I introduce our last chef today, I'd like to now invite Dr. Suraj from Swami Shraddhanand Hospital and Robin Rajan, who will be presenting a PowerPoint presentation to you all on the palliative care unit. So please give them a warm welcome.
Thank you, Natasha. Before I say anything, happy Dashera to everyone. And I must say, you are doing a splendid job, Natasha. Wonderful work. Keep going. We're just going to catch up with Dr. Suraj from the other part of the world. Dr. Suraj is right now in Mumbai, outskirts of Mumbai, actually in Palghar, where he runs the Shraddhanand Hospital. I was very fortunate to, have the opportunity of visiting the hospital, and they are doing a fantastic job, really looking after some very, very needy people who have had some serious economic challenges. So, Dr. Suraj, I believe you have a presentation for us, and you're going to explain to us as to give us a bit of a brief on the hospital, and also, most importantly, tell us what exactly we are raising the money for, as in where is the funds going to actually be going once we have the entire funding organized. So welcome to Vision 2020 once again. We really appreciate your time. We know you're very tied up, very busy, particularly in the COVID era, which I believe is improving from what I understand.
Yes, yes. So, good morning to our viewers in India, and good afternoon to you, Mr. Robin, the team at Vision 2020, and all our viewers from Australia. I am Dr. Suraj Bhagade. So, please allow me to share my screen and let's jump to the presentation. So our Swami Shraddhanand Hospital is located in Nirmal village, very close to the western coastline, catering to local Adivasis, fishermen, people from rural, tribal and semi-urban areas. We offer a range of quality medical services at affordable rates in a safe and therapeutic environment for all our patients. We treat patients with terminal illnesses with an aim to improve their quality of lives through prevention and treatment of suffering, employing tools like pain relief, psychological counseling, other aspects of physical care, and most importantly, the spiritual care to uplift their spirits in these trying times. Our patients who have chronic debilitating illnesses like terminal stage cancers, Parkinsonism, Alzheimer's, etc., are usually shattered at the levels of body, mind, and soul, and hence they require specialized, individualized palliative care. We have a dedicated 11-bedded palliative care ward at Swami Shraddhananda Hospital. Our specialized palliative care physicians and the support staff ensure that our patients get a comfortable stay and home-like food at affordable rates. Since over 4 years, we have served more than 192 such needy patients, many of whom have continued to stay with us for months or even years. We consider ourselves fortunate that we could give many of them faith-based end-of-life spiritual care. However, our ward is almost always full and hence we require new, bigger and better facility with more advanced equipment. So Mr. Robin, we propose to create a new palliative care ward next to our eye care charitable ward on the first floor of our hospital.
Right.
Let me take you through this design sketch of the ward. It will be spread over 2,500 square feet, containing a pantry, a store, a palliative care physician OPD, the toilet complex, nursing station, and 20 palliative care beds. Yeah. Regarding the support that we require from all of you, besides the lift, the physical construction of the ward, we will require support for electricals and fixtures, the specialized semi-reclinable Fowler beds, 20 number, furniture items and the television set. On the medical side, for the routine medical care, we will require small medical equipments, variety in number and types, and for some specialized care like critical care as well as sometimes resuscitations, we will require multi-para monitors, ECG machine, suction machine, syringe pumps, defibrillator. So that brings to an end. I request all of you to please lend your helping hand in the final leg of the journey of our patients. Thank you so much. Happy Dashera to all of you.
Thank you, Doctor. Just want to let everyone know once again, as we all people who are familiar with Vision 2020, we only support infrastructural funding, and we only support or donate things which are tangible. And I think from what we understand from your requirements, there are a number of things that the money that is going to be raised, that people are going to be donating, is going to go very specifically for these needs that you have in the coming times.
Yes,
So
sir.
once again, thank you so much for your time. I know it's pretty tough, and we're wishing and hoping that things are back in Amchi, Mumbai very soon. We all have a prayers and wishes for you. And we will hopefully be seeing you for some more events very shortly. Thank you again. So there you have it, Natasha. As you rightly pointed out earlier, this is definitely a great cause, and everyone I would urge to really dig in deep and give your very best support for this fantastic cause. You can be rest assured that every amount that is raised here is going to go for something really worthy for the most needy, particularly in this part of Palghar where the hospital is. People are from definitely a very, very low economic background, and there's a lot of tribal people who actually find even, day-to-day living extremely tough. So leave alone going to a hospital. So in short, this is going to be a great, great support. So I would urge everyone to do your very best and support them. Thank you, Natasha. Keep doing a great job that you are. Continue with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin, and thank you so much, Dr. Suraj. Again, yes, as Robin's mentioned, this is a very worthy cause, so I urge you to dig deep and donate. And donations are tax deductible. You can, the details are available on the Vision 2020 chat lines, and you can also donate via the Vision 2020 website, so www.vision2020.org.au by using your credit card. Now to our most exciting part of today's evening, the dessert segment. So we have our final chef today joining us, Jeff Kim. Jeff Kim will be his culinary experience so far has spanned from the Four Seasons Hotel and a number of leading restaurants and hotels in Sydney and in London. And now he is a trainer and assessor at the Quality Training and Hospitality College. Jeff is passionate about the hospitality industry and food and engaging with students and employers to minimize the gap between the college and industry. So Jeff, we're all dying to know, I've heard so much about your delectable dessert. What is it that you're going to be cooking for us all today?
Oh, hi. Yeah, so today we're going to be making the maple and vanilla panna cotta, but usually it's made with gelatine. But instead of gelatine, we're going to use a vegan method, which is we're going to replace the gelatin with the agar-agar, which is like gelatin-like, but extracted from the red algae seaweed. Yeah, and it'll be served with the beautiful strawberry sorbet, and also a little salad of mango and mango and strawberry.
Sounds delightful.
Chef, would you let everyone know why not gelatin? Where does gelatin come from, and why we wouldn't use it in a vegan, vegetarian recipe?
Right. So gelatin is usually extracted from various of animal products, usually from, say, pork skin or the joints. That's where the gelatin is extracted. So yeah, instead of that, let's use from the red algae. Why not? It has a little bit different texture, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. So yeah, should we?
Great. So we can't wait to see what you cook up.
Right. All right. So today we have in three different components. So one is the panna cotta itself. So I've got a coconut cream and coconut milk, 50-50, 580 mils. So yeah, just 50-50. If you want a little bit more creamier, then of course you can add a little bit. The ratio can be a little bit more of a coconut cream. But for me, I like a little bit balanced. So a bit of a coconut milk and coconut cream. Also, we have a maple syrup, 60 mils. And we also have a agar-agar. Now, agar-agar, I got 2 grams here. It's going to set pretty quickly. The pro tip is going to be, don't add the agar-agar when it's hot. You should really add everything when it's cold. Otherwise, you'll end up with lumps, and it won't have a equal distribution of agar-agar. Yeah, and when we go over here, we've got the strawberry sorbet. So I got 500 grams of fresh strawberries, and I got some powdered glucose, and I got some castor sugar as well. The reason why we're using the powdered glucose is to give a bit of a nicer texture. Of course, you know, if everybody had an ice cream machine at home, that would be beautiful. But unfortunately, I believe not everyone has ice cream machines at home. So what you can do is get yourself a little blender like this, and as it whips and blends, it actually aerates. So that will give a bit of an aeration into your sorbet, so it won't be like an ice block, if you know what I mean. Of course, the texture is going to be enhanced with the powdered glucose. So that's that. And onto our garnish tray, I've already pre-diced the mangoes here, just for the salad. And I've also got the strawberries already cut up. Now you can see it's all cut up. Now what's going to happen is that I got some castor sugar here. I'm just going to just coat it lightly, just to macerate. I don't want too much, just enough so that the juices of the strawberries are extracted. And of course, I've got little zest and microplane of lime and strawberry. Gonna keep it nice and fresh. Goes very well with coconut. Coconut's very creamy. You want something acidic to cut through that creaminess. It's gonna be nice, well balanced. So let's get to our agar. So it's very easy. You need to pot something like this, and I'm gonna put it on. I'll put it on. Okay, there we go. So I'm using an induction cooker. You can use a gas stove, that's okay. Now when you use a gas stove, the fire will come sideways, so make sure it doesn't burn. So you can control your heat that way. Okay, so that's that. And maple syrup just straight away goes in. Maple syrup. And of course we talked about the agar, put it in the very beginning. And just a touch of vanilla. Make it nice. Don't go too hard with the vanilla. Otherwise, you want nice balance, not quite the. If you put too much, it will taste like medicine. So yeah, you can see the color's already changing. It's already start foaming as well. Now I'm just going to try and put it on a higher seat. Okay, here we go. So just emulsify. And you just want to make sure that agar is broken down and it's really put together. If you don't put it, again, I can't stress this enough, you really need to put it when it's nice and cold. All right, so we'll just wait until this comes up to boil.
I'd just like to let everyone know the power of the zest.
Oh, yes.
It's free flavor.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So anytime you want to add a citrusy flavor, you could just add the zest, which is just the colorful part of the citrus.
Yes.
So we don't want to use the pith, which is the below white layer, because that is bitter. But this is free flavor.
Yes.
But if you want to use juice and zest, I would advise always zest first and then juice it. Otherwise, you're going to be finding it very hard, almost impossible to zest it. So I'm always finding ways to get free anything. So that's a good tip.
Yep. And of course, as Chef Daisy said, zest is beautiful. It's very concentrated in flavor and aroma. You can of course replace it with some orange or lemon. It's really up to you. Okay, so I can see a little bit of steam action happening. So we'll just wait for that. Come to boil.
We've tried and kept all the recipes to be seasonal because we have to get back to the old traditional way of eating everything when it was in season. Nobody had, all the produce coming from lots of different countries, traveling a lot of miles, which are again, travel miles are not really good for the environment. So we have tried and created a very seasonal menu, and that is how all of us should be now overhauling our eating habits just for health benefits.
Right, so
Chef Jeff and Chef Daisy, we have a question from a viewer who would like to know if the recipes can be shared with them later on for all the dishes.
Yes, definitely. All the ingredient list is already there, except I think the polenta, which was my last minute addition. But yes, all the recipes are going to be shared. And they're very simple, as you have seen, so I don't see a problem how they can be replicated in your own homes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thanks, Chef Daisy.
All right, so agar is now coming to boil. What you should keep in mind is that you want to bring this up to like 82, 85 degrees Celsius and keep it for at least like 15 seconds. And that way you would know that it's all good and the agar is like really activated. If you don't do this, it's not really going to, yeah, it might not set, and yeah, please don't blame me if it doesn't work. Yeah, so, okay, cool. So once this is done, some tip here. If you have a blowtorch, that's great. If you don't, never mind, that's okay. What I really want to do here is to just get rid of all the air bubbles, because the air bubbles, fire will extract the oxygen out of it. So if there's any air bubbles that's there, you can just simply remove it with a blowtorch. But not necessary. But if you have a romantic dinner and you're making it for your loved ones, you want to impress them as much as you can. So, okay, so great. So what I'm doing now is I'm just straining straight into the jug, and that's actually done with a purpose because it will make your life actually really, really easier when you actually pour into one of these jars. I mean, not jars, glass, I should say, right? So here's some rice just in a container, and what you can do is you can put it in such a shape. And then, of course, yep, in such a shape. So if you just stand it like this, yeah, okay, it can look beautiful. But you want to give it a little twist as how I'm doing.
Make it chefy.
Yeah, make it a little bit chefy. Then, of course, just put it on a little bit angle. And of course, if you have a jug, you will just pour it gently in here, like so. I know it's a little bit. Okay, so something like that, and of course we just let it set like so, right? And I'm just going to leave it here. Now what we're going to do is, okay, so if you have a look into the strawberries start sweating a little bit, so it's going to give us a little bit like a dressing effect for our salad a little bit later. So I'll just remove this and put it on the side. Now we're going to make some the sorbet. The sorbet is very, very easy, 3 ingredients, why not?
Sorry, Jeff.
Yes.
There is another question before you head on to your next step.
Oh, yes.
There's a question from a viewer asking if pectin from apples can be used instead of agar, or could they use potato starch or corn flour?
To be honest with you, cornstarch not really recommended. Yeah.
Okay.
It will spoil the color. The vibrancy of the fruits will be lost. Definitely not pectin. It's okay in jams, but not for a cold set dessert.
Yeah. So unfortunately.
No, that's great. No problem. I hope it answers the
potato starch will mess up the taste.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Agar is available from major stockists like Harris Farm.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
Or even Asian stores, Asian groceries. Yeah.
All right. No, that's great. Thank you.
All right. So what I have here is the 3 ingredients: the powdered glucose and caster sugar and some strawberries. And of course, if it doesn't catch in one go, of course you can push it down. Now, the reason why I'm not actually cooking this, but I'm just blending it, is because I want to retain as much freshness as possible from the sorbet. I don't want any cooked flavor. Okay, so the idea when we blend is that we want to make sure that granules of the caster sugar and the powdered glucose is all just melted down. You don't want any crystals. So, and when you have a look in here, you can see the air bubbles already made. So that's what's going to make it a little bit softer. And we just put it into this flat tray. Please, it's my recommendation you use a flat tray so you can just fork it out a little bit later. And of course, put it inside the freezer as soon as possible, because what happens is when you blend a vegetable or let's say fruits or berries, it will start oxidizing. And as it oxidizes, then you lose the freshness of it. So that's what it is. So this one, please do try and make at home. It will make a very much difference. It's not going to taste like a strawberry jam because strawberry jams are cooked and it has that unique cooked taste to it. But for this one, it's really, really refreshing. All right, so that's done. And I'll just get on to this side here. So here's the one that I prepared earlier, as you can see. Yeah, because it takes time to set, I've already pre-made it, and we'll see how it all goes. And as you can see, thank you. This is a pre-made sorbet that I've already made. Now what you want to do is just get a fork, just fork it out. Right, and just fork it out like so. It's okay. Then because of the powdered glucose, the texture is a little bit more stickier, right? And it's a beautiful thing. So I'm just going to fork this out like so. And I'll just put it on one side, right? I'll just put it on one side. Now I'm going to get this one over here. And here's some lime that we had. And I'm not sure if you've been to bar or something, but usually what they do is, put the lime zest. And then here's the desiccated coconut. Just put that there, just for a little bit of garnish. And then you put, I put a little bit of rice in here, just into the bowl, just to make it, stable. And then we've got our mangoes, right? So just get another spoon. I'll just put diced mangoes in here. And it's got that little, thank you, little juice. So what I want to do is I just want to, without trying to touch the other side, right? Yep. And I'll just put some berries in there. Berries and mangoes.
Yeah, the macerated strawberries, they all become juicy instead of dry.
Oh, yes.
With a little bit of sugar.
So it's like a little fruit salad, if you like, with a bit of a dressing, but instead of the oil base, it's more like a more refreshing. Now, here's a trick. Now, I've got one of these cannelling spoon. Just tap water, right? And then I'm just going to cannel it. A little bit heated water works better, but it's okay. So I'll just use the side of it. Okay. And I'm just going to try and put it there, like so. Drop that sorbet in there, like so, like a little canal. And of course, everybody loves a little bit of tweezer, so yeah, I'll just get some mix. Put that in there. Maybe some small ones, it's okay. Right. There you go. Something like that on a placemat.
That looks like a piece of art, Chef.
Yeah, so of course, but to make this, I mean, I guess you will have to, make it for your really loved ones,
It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, so I think it's very important that you put, food is to be shared with other people. So I think it makes sense that you put a little bit more effort, go a little bit further, and put something really nice out of it. Yeah, I'm pleased to enjoy. And
thank you, Chef.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you.
You have shared a lot of technical details today, which people behind the scenes would never have access to. So I hope you have all enjoyed it. And just to make it, just to let everyone know that it's not difficult. You just have to have a little bit of interest, and you can create this. This is all done in front of you, and there is no magic to it. Okay, so yes, just learn and have interest, and you can do it.
Daisy, another exciting thing is obviously a lot of people working from home.
Yes.
So that gives you enough of free time to kind of go on through these simple recipes and just treat yourself, feed your family, and enjoy every day, with these recipes.
Well said, Chef.
Oh yeah, by the way, it can be all pre-done. You don't have to do it on Friday date night. You can do it on Thursday. Pre-prepare it, put it inside the fridge. Everything will be set, and just you can even plate it in front of your loved ones as well, and they might be really impressed. Thank you.
Thanks, Chef.
We just show our prepared dishes, Chef.
Yep.
So we have all three dishes, yeah. So we can do an entree, we can do a main course, and we have a dessert.
Wow, they look incredible.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Whenever you guys try these recipes at home, let us know if you need any judges. We are happy to come over and for you guys, yeah? Anytime.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, jump on our Instagram pages, all three of us, to get more tips about all the recipes that we create. Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful to do this masterclass. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Jeff's dish reminded me of the snow egg on MasterChef. It was very, very beautiful.
Natasha,
so all of you are MasterChef. Sorry, what were you going to say?
It's funny how you say that because Chef Jeff has worked with with Chef Peter Gilmore.
Wow.
Yes.
Long time ago, but yeah.
Very impressive.
So, yeah, you have learned from great masters.
You've learned from the next MasterChefs. Let's just say.
Great effort by the team. Well done.
Thank you, everyone.
So everyone, again, I'm going to urge you all, as you're looking at the beautiful dishes, to please, again, to donate for this worthy cause. The details are in the chat, as well as the banner that will be shown shortly on the screen. So if you go to the Vision 2020 website, you can also donate via your credit card. Asmita is going to be taking some questions shortly for our chefs. So if you have any questions, can you quickly go to the chat lines and just ask those questions either via Facebook or on Zoom? That would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to now cross over to Asmita, who will be asking our chefs the public's burning questions. So Ashmita. Hi, Ashmita, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks,
Great.
Natasha. I'm just going to move my mic to another location. Just give me a moment.
Sure. So I'm sure everyone's really enjoying the event so far and those beautiful dishes.
Thanks, Natasha. I do have a couple of questions from some of our viewers. Firstly, they would like you to share your Insta IDs. So we'll put all your Insta IDs on the chat line so that they can follow you. These three dishes are just looking incredible. I mean, it's the color explosion is unbelievable, and yeah, I'm sure if people were here, they just couldn't wait to dig into these. So this question is for Chef Daisy. Daisy, there were a few different types of vegetables. I know when I do roast veggies, I end up with a bit of a mash sometimes. What advice would you give on the timings on the roast veggies?
Okay, so that's a very good question. We would always work out the vegetables that take longest. We would start them off first and then use the other ones and then follow them into the oven. That would help. These vegetables that I have used for ratatouille are the typical vegetables that are used in the traditional French ratatouille. So nothing very different about it. Yes, but that would be my tip. The other one would be to cut them all even, so they take almost the same time to cook.
Could you give us an example of what could go in there earlier and then what should just stay?
Sure. The eggplant, definitely, because it needs that color. It needs to be soft because we cannot eat raw eggplant. So that would definitely have to go in. Then, of course, onions, depending on how you're cutting it, is fine. But I have cut the zucchini into semi-half, so I slit it lengthwise and then cut it into half moons. Again, depending on the thickness, I've kept it very close to what the eggplant would be. You could add the tomatoes in the end, because otherwise they tend to get saucy.
Thank you. This question is for Chef Ashendu. There are people who don't like tofu. Is there anything else that can be used in place of tofu for a dish like this?
Yeah, as I said previously, we can definitely substitute with paneer, because I know Indian households love the paneer, and anything with paneer is kind of a bit fancy. So by all means, what you could do is use paneer, but just be a bit careful when you pan frying it, because it tends to crumble, so it might not retain its shape. So it's very important for it to retain its shape, that you're going to be very watchful and careful when you pan frying that paneer.
Thanks, Chef Ashendu. Chef Jeff, a question for you. In place of the strawberries and mangoes, of course, they're popular fruits, but in this combination, can they use any other fruits in terms of taste?
Yeah, I'll keep the fruits to seasonality, because I think Mother Nature is the best when it comes to it. I think the Mother Nature should really cook the fruits and vegetables as well. So, for example, tomatoes, I think it's best when it's from the vine and then they have enough sunshine, etc., etc. So you get what I mean. So I wouldn't do something that's not available to me, but I'll see what's available, and then by all means, feel free to change it around. And of course, we use the coconut cream and coconut milk. But of course, if you like to use almond milk, by all means, go ahead. Oat milk. Feel free to try it all out. It's going to be quite interesting.
Chef, what do you think about a pina colada? Because we already talking about cream.
Yeah, pina colada.
Candy pineapple and a bit of Malibu into your sauce.
Yeah. That's going to be also beautiful. And one thing that I didn't put is the saffron. But if you want to do a bit of a saffron and just jazz it up a little bit, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, you could make the panna cotta using cardamom and saffron.
100%.
That would be so Indianizing it.
As you said, like cardamom, a couple of cardamoms in there. Just let it infuse it overnight, so that all the flavors will come out. And it'll be a
I'll still prefer the pina colada.
Well, actually, the original recipe was for gin and tonic Renita.
Yeah, okay. No, fantastic.
So the sorbet is also called Renita. Yeah, no dairy in it.
And as we said earlier, so all the ingredient listing is already on the Vision 2020 website. But what we also would intend to do in the near future, the recipe and
Asmitha, sorry, just to interject, there are a few questions on the Zoom chat, just letting you know.
Yes, I'm just going to them. Just waiting.
Yeah, so the method and the recipe will be online shortly. So, rest assured, we're trying our best to get these to you as soon as possible, and so that you can start cooking and enjoying lovely flavors.
Yeah, the real chefs always share recipes. We don't hide ingredients. We don't miss steps. Everything you have seen in front of your own eyes. That's the sign of a genuine chef.
I have another question. Dr. Suraj has mentioned it's about the ratatouille. He says, we have seen a different recipe from the animation movie of the same name. The ingredients were cut in round-shaped slices. Any tips for us on that? I suppose he's trying to say, will roundels work?
Yeah, just make sure that everything is cut evenly.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Dr. Suraj. Question for
you should switch on to this recipe now.
Question for Chef Ashendu. I don't suppose they don't get broccolini with the long stalks. They're in Mumbai. So routine broccoli would be all right.
You could use broccoli, you could use green beans, or you can even use asparagus if they're fresh and seasoned.
Yeah, snow peas, beans.
That's exactly what was the next
question. And I believe that asparagus now it's pretty much available in Mumbai, in India. So that doesn't stop you. You don't have to stick to the broccolini. and you can try any of the other vegetables.
You can use wilted spinach. You can use any greens that are available in India. Yeah, that doesn't, I mean, the flavor profile is from your sauces. So, you know, as long as you add that, it should be fine.
There is one more question. Just give me a moment. Question for Chef Jeff. Just wondering about the sorbet. Would it be possible to interchange the strawberries with another fruit? I guess that I already asked that question earlier, and so hopefully Chef Jeff's answers your question.
But I just want to add one thing.
Sure.
When you interchange the fruits, you should take into consideration of the acidity, the sourness, and also the sweetness of it. So, of course, if you have a very ripe mango, and of course the fruits, the ripeness will make a huge difference. So, depending on the ripeness, you might have to tone down with the caster sugar or tone down a little bit with the powdered glucose. So that's a little something that, you know, writing a recipe is a bit of a trial and error sort of thing as well. So yeah, just one thing that I just want to give you a heads up on that one. Yeah.
Sure, excellent. One more for Chef Harshendu. The question is, can halloumi be used instead?
You could use halloumi. A couple of things we need to look out for while using halloumi is absolutely salty, so it's a bit over the top. When you're going to add in your soy sauce and your dressings, it might probably not taste the same way. So I would not recommend to use the halloumi. Obviously, it gets a nice color and a char on it, but using halloumi probably not the best option for this dish.
Maybe, and definitely won't be able to have this serving with halloumi because it is cheese and it is heavy.
We have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's from Facebook. How long to freeze the sorbet?
How long?
To freeze the sorbet?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the idea is to fork it out. I mean, if you use a ice cream churner, then of course you don't want to overturn it. But then the idea is, as you saw, get it to the hard consistency where you can start forking it, and you can get a like a good sorbet consistency. Yeah. So,
ideally overnight, Chef?
Sorry?
Ideally overnight?
Yeah, overnight will be great.
Yeah.
Overnight will be great. Again, desserts, I wouldn't really leave it till last minute. You can pre-prep everything. So, yeah. So I would just make the sorbet way in advance, start forking it out, and then you can canal it or you can serve it as it is. But, yeah.
That's another great tip. Prepare as many items as you can ahead of time, because that's what we call mise en place or prep. Because when the service starts, because it's very, very busy, you don't want to be, like in my terms, get caught with your pants down, right? So you want to have as many prep items possible, then you're just getting into the cooking mode, that's it. So prep, we all cannot really underestimate how important that is.
And clean as you go, please.
Not leave it to your partners to clean up. That's very, very important. Everyone loves cooking, nobody wants to clean, but while it's cooking, you can start cleaning up. That's the tip.
I'm sure the link for this recording will be shared later on. We've got a question about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There are some people whose friends have missed out on watching the show. So I'm sure Vision 2020 will be sharing the link.
Yes, Asmita, it will be shared for sure.
Yes,
On
absolutely.
Facebook, it will be on.
That's
It'll
right.
the link will be available on FB.
All right.
All right, I'll hand it over back to you, Natasha. I think we've dealt with the questions so far.
Sure.
Over to you.
Thanks so much, Asmita. I'd like to say a big thank you to our talented chefs, Daisy, Harshendu, and Jeff. I think, for taking the time out of their busy schedules to show us those delightful and delectable vegan dishes. I mean, I'm sure all the chefs out there, like myself, would agree that we'll be rushing to Woolworths tomorrow to be stocking up on all those ingredients just to make sure that we can make some of those tantalizing vegan dishes. So thank you so much for taking the time out once again today.
Yeah.
We're now going to
Natasha,
show.
Natasha, sorry to interrupt. Can
Yeah.
I just take the opportunity also to thank a great videographer in Harsha. He did a great job.
Yes. Woo, great. Thanks,
Harsha is
Harsha, as
hiding
well.
somewhere. Maybe we should have him on spotlight.
Hi, Harsha. Thank you. Thank you, Harsha, as well. We now have a short video from the patients at the hospital. We're hoping by the end of the event today, we'll be able to collect those much needed funds for the palliative care units. So again, the details are being shared for the place where you can donate on the chat lines as well as the banner. Go to the Vision 2020 website. And after the video, there will be a vote of thanks. So thank you, everyone.
Very good. नाश्ता इथे सगळं वेगवेगळं मिळतं वेगवेगळं मिळतं आणि न विचारता मिळतं आणि रोज वेगळा नाश्ता असतो त्यामुळे चांगलं वाटतं आणि दुसरी गोष्ट अशी की पाहिजे तेच प्रत्येकाला मिळतं मी कोणाला फक्त 2 चपात्या कोणाला 4 चपात्या असतील कोणाला 3 चपात्या असतील ते फक्त मिळतात वगैरे भाऊजी म्हणा की भाऊ मामा म्हणा ते चांगले म्हणजे भूषण डॉक्टर ते आणि पहिले मावशी हे एकदम चांगले आहेत ते चांगले वागतात आणि दुसरी गोष्ट अशी की नर्स म्हणजे ऑब्झर्वेशन एवढं चांगलं असतं की नर्स जी सांगेल ते मावशी ऐकत आणि त्याप्रमाणे मावशी करणार
Thanks. Now we'll be passing over to Sridhar, who will be giving the vote of thanks.
Hi there. I think we are all been on mute. Now it's time to unmute. So in order to thank all the preparations and everyone who made this event possible, it's our turn to thank them loudly, visibly. So turn on your microphone, turn on your video, and let's start thanking them one by one. So first one in the list is Quality Training in Hospitality College for providing their infrastructure and facilities. And of course, by Chef Daisy, Chef Harshendu, Chef So we should all make some noise and clap them loudly. Now let us hold it up one more round for everyone. Yeah. I would also like to thank our sponsors, Awaaz Today, Kuber Wars, and Accolade for their contribution for this event. As we just saw in the video of the hospital, Shraddha Hospital, they are doing an amazing work, and a word of thanks and congratulations for the kind of work they're doing for the Shraddha Hospital, led by Dr. Suraj. So well done. And a quick note of thanks to Natasha and Asmita for hosting this event wonderfully. And lastly, the events team worked hard, worked tirelessly, and a great congratulations and thank you to the events team from Vision 2020.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Either I just want to come in here. Have you specifically mentioned Natasha? Maybe I missed it.
He mentioned it.
You are on mute.
Sorry.
You are on mute, Sridhar.
No, it's echoing.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the third time, thank you, Natasha. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the end of the proceedings today. Thank you, everyone.
Good. Well done.
Thank you, everyone. Great work, great work. And thank you for all of them joining us.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Rob.
Subscribe to Awaaz today. Click on the bell icon for latest national and international buzzing news.